I come from a place in Manchester, quite a tough place, and a lot of my younger life was rough. What made fighting easy for me was, compared to the shit I'd been through when I was young, fighting in a ring was incidental almost, you know what I mean? It was trivial. So people used to always say to me, "Oh, you're so calm before fights." I'm like, "How the fuck do you do that? You don't seem nervous at all." It's like, well, I wasn't. Not because I'm fearless or anything, but because comparatively, the fear that I'd been through up until that point was so much worse than probably what a lot of these fighters can imagine. That having someone punch you in a ring when there's a ref, it's like, gives a shit about that.
What makes Jonno CHIPCHASE unique as a fighter?
Oh, that's a good one. You're coming with the good questions. What makes me unique as a fighter? I think probably my mindset. So like, a lot of fighters, point fighters, fight in certain ways, or defensive fighters, or the technical, and I've always tried to be all of those types of things, but inherently what's a part of me is just carnage, you know, just trying to damage someone, trying to run through them, trying to sort of bury them with my power. I think it's quite unique to me.
Well, talk to me about your relationship with winning and losing.
Okay, my relationship with winning and losing is quite tightly knit with my relationship to fighting. And my relationship with fighting is very, it's cathartic, it's a catharsis for me almost. Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, it was just about the fight. All I gave a shit about was a good fight. That's all I was interested in. And it gets to points in your career where if you're just having good fights but you're not winning, people will be like, well, he's not going to get a good fight next time. So then I'd be put under pressure to win, and then I always would, so then I'd get good fights again. And I guess as I've become older, maybe more mature, now my focus is just being better than I was the last time I was in the ring. So it's not winning or losing, it's just being better. Because I know if I show up on the day, and I'm fighting, and I'm better than I was the last time, and I'm as good as I can be for that time, there's not many people in the world that can fight me, can do very well. I'm very powerful, very technical, very experienced, very tough guy. And I'm just trying to be the best I can be every time I step through those ropes, if I'm not allowed to anymore. Whether that means because I'm retired or because the game bans me for life again or whatever.
What part does fear play in Muay Thai?
If I'm fighting someone who I respect, who I know can damage me, it doesn't make me scared, but it makes me more attuned to the fact that it's going to actually be a visceral, brutal fight, a fight that I'm sort of into. So I'll train better, my mindset will be correct, and you'll see the best of me. In terms of fear, I've been scared of losing and I've been scared of winning. And when I've done both of those things, I've never done very well. But I've never been scared to fight, not in my entire life, not a single person, never.
Pro debut?
No, never been. My pro debut was an A-class fight against Darren O'Callaghan after a year of amateur training, and I think I did one C-class randomly in the middle of that, and I was 17 at the time, and even then I was just more excited about the fact that they'd give me that opportunity to fight this cool guy on this cool show. Not a single bit of fear in me at all.
Yeah, I think the reason why I asked that question is because you do see a lot more sort of introspective, deep thinking, overthinking situations. So do you not find that to be an issue in the ring?
It can be, and it has been in the past, and this is particularly with things like the idea of having plans or whatever. That's a big one. So if I've ever had a plan or an idea about a fight was going to go, it never goes that way because of the overthinking. Whereas my last few fights, maybe my last 4 or 5, there's been no plan. It's just been train hard, get in there, try and kick ass, you know. Try not to take too much damage, try and give out the damage, and hopefully we leave after a nice hotel experience, a nice bit of food, and a good bit of publicity.
So a couple of fights again, Stuart Stabler, blood pouring. What goes through your mind when you're in a fight in that situation and you can feel as if you've been badly damaged?
So I've had a few bad damages. Cuts are visceral looking, and cuts are very good for cameras, but they don't hurt. So it's like people always, when they first jump to A-class, they always say, what's an elbow like? I've been asked that loads. It's just like a punch, but if it cuts you, it's like a punch that you get punched, and you get that flash, and then you'll feel a bit of warmth. And when you feel the warmth, you cut. Nothing else feels different about it. When I'm cut, it depends on where it is. So we had a really bad cut against a guy called Sam Tahiru, who he cut my eye so bad here that the bone was showing. And that's probably the only time in a fight my dad was looking at it. I could see his face. He was like, what, it's this? I was like, is it that bad? Is it that bad? He went, well, you've probably got one more round. So I was like, okay, cool, just send me the fuck out. I'll try and blow his face off. But it was one of them. And that one was the only time I thought, I'm going to look like a normal human again. Psychologically, the one that was difficult to deal with was the orbital blowout fracture. And that took a while. The same as when Tam McCourt knocked me out, which is the only time in my career ever, not just in fighting, but in the gym or outside, that I've ever been sort of concussed to the point of going unconscious. Never happened to me before in my life. And to have that happen, sort of psychologically get over it, was quite difficult. It took me a year to get over it and to feel like, now I know what I'm going to do, you know what I mean? Now I know the game, because I've never been hurt like that really in the ring. So when I first got hurt like that in the ring, I was like, oh, it's a game of, that's the game we're playing. And that's just why I probably look more aggressive since then.
You mentioned your dad in your corner, and he always has been. What's it like to be dad as your coach?
It's amazing, to be honest. It's weird as fuck, because obviously when we go on trips together, it's just me and him, and it's me and him in the hotel room, and it's me and him have built such a strong relationship and such a routine. Yeah, I think I've had 35, 36 A-class fights, which is probably more than most in the country. And for all them, my dad's been in my corner. And for all my amateur fights, my dad was in my corner too, which means he travelled with me, he was in my corner. Obviously we argue sometimes and we don't get on sometimes, but it never affects the performance. And our routine and sort of camaraderie and the way he supports me and how even I can support and comfort him, and how we can read and sort of vibe off each other, is so important.
Who or what are you fighting for?
Catharsis, my own soul, to be able to look at myself in the mirror and know I did in the game what I always wanted to. When I was younger, I wanted a world title. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be the number one in the UK. I don't want any opportunity. I don't want anybody to give me anything. I just want to show how good I am before it's over. So when I'm done and I hand my gloves up, people go, you know that, Jonno, you could do some shit in the ring.
With that being said, over the last sort of 12, 18 months, I've seen a lot more people calling you out than perhaps ever in your career.
Yeah.
Do you think that the young fighters are sort of seeing you as a rite of passage?
Yeah, I think they see me as a rite of passage. I think some of them have, and it's been sort of, at times I've been almost a gatekeeper when I've not been on point. And now that I'm on point and I'm getting a bit more attention, and I'm also obviously, I know the game, so I know how to manipulate it myself. It's impersonal with me, whoever it is. The only thing I want, and this is why I was excited for John's fight, but I was also excited for the other fight that I can't mention that I told you about. And also when me and Paul were going back and forth, I was excited about that as well. Because these are all fights where, for me, life or death. These are guys that are serious, even though I joke about and shit. What I mean is, if I'm fighting them, you're going to see the best of me. If I say I want to fight you, I see that as the highest form of respect, because all I'm saying now is I want to go to war with gladiators, and one of us is going to die. And funnily enough, I saw Haggerty as my goal, the same with Paul and any of these people, my route to one of two things, not just one, which was either they'll give me glory and they'll give me riches and they'll give me gold, or they'll give me peace. Because I want peace as well as gold and riches and glory, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is the gulf will be so big that people will probably think it is, that I won't be able to bridge it, and then I'll know I can never bridge it, and then I can lay down my sword, or it won't be as big as they think, which I don't think it is, and it'll be a good fight, and then I'll get what I want.
If that's the case, losing peace or winning gold and riches,
yeah,
win-win.
Yeah, no, precisely, because for me it's always that. It hasn't always been that, but for now it's always that. But which is why I say now it's kill or be killed for me. I want the best, and I want to show them how good I am. Because even in the last two fights where I said I did, but I didn't do that good. Not compared to what I can do. It was still stuff left in the basement. And with these challenges, you will see how good I am. And if that's as good as I think I am, you're gonna see something fucking special. And if it's as shit as they think I might be, then you're gonna see me go, wow. Thank you for the memories. At least the game had to acknowledge me to the point where I had to fight one of the very best fighters. Stabler, for example. He is much better than people give him credit for because his last fight was me. People don't understand how good that kid is yet. When that kid takes the world by storm, I'll replay this shit and I'll let you all know that I knew because I fought him. A lot of people won't fight people like that while still going, they're not ready for these opportunities yet. They're too young, they're not good enough, whatever. But at the same time, no one will fight them. Bit weird, isn't it? I'll just fight them. I don't care.
When you do decide to hang up the gloves,
Yep.
how do you think Jonno, the fighter, will be remembered?
Hopefully, I'll be remembered for the next stage in what I do, which will be teaching, because it's quite cliche, but I think I read a Eubank quote about this recently, which is when a warrior hangs up his gloves, he should then give back to the more impoverished communities that he was able to help raise himself up from, with the arts and the support group that made him get to where he was. I'd like to do that, and I hope which I might have my gloves up soon, who the fuck knows, you know what I mean? I'm young and I could fight for years, but I'm not given the opportunities. I'm just going to train forever like a maniac, waiting for some short notice killer, you know what I mean? I'm not an idiot. I'm not playing that game anymore. So it's if you don't give me the opportunity at the right time, I ain't doing it anymore. So I'd rather just help people and teach them how to go on the same journey that me and my father went on from when I was young, and I used to look through magazines and see the rankings and I'd visualize my name in those rankings, and then I got on there, and then I'd see I want to be on this picture, I'll be in that picture, and then we did it. And then we always said it would always be downhill from here. When I was on my first poster, to the point where you basically headlining at the O2 against one of the top, sort of UK's prospects and winning, and still it'll never feel like enough in that sense to the accomplishments that you get. It'll never do it for a fighter. But what makes me happy is using what I learned from philosophy and psychology to help, not in a combative way like I do now in the ring and like I do at weigh-ins and like I do before I fight people, to use that to help people, make their lives more complete and make them understand the art which I've grown to love. That would be how I'd want to be remembered. In terms of fighting and in the ring, I hope people remember me as just a guy who never said no to a challenge, always stepped up, always stood right in front of his opponent and tried to blow his face off. That's it. I'm happy now, because that's literally all I've wanted to do since I was a kid. When you watch martial arts movies and shit, and you see the one guy who can take out a room, or he can say something and he can do it, or the guy who can use his will and his teaching and his training and his forthrightness and his just spirit to do and create things in the world and to change sort of outcomes and to shock the game. That's how I would want to be remembered, because that's how I've always tried to do this game, you know what I mean?